episode 5, part 2 of Bouj and Rouge.
Don't lump me with them. Like, and I don't say them in a
Because
disrespectful way
everyone
because
have
everybody
talent.
got to start somewhere.
Yes, we
Like,
know
I
that for sure.
remember, like, I still got a couple of elf brushes, but because you can get them at the Wally for the low. So,
Yeah.
like, I still got a couple of elf brushes, but like, I'm using elf brushes when I'm using paints and stuff that I don't mind getting toe up. Even though they trying to make a comeback, you see them on all on the commercials and everything, but like we're just not the same. We're not the same. My skill set is different. My education is different. The experience that I have put into this is different. Don't lump me with that group because that's not where I'm at. It would be different if I was novice and I was just starting out. Then you could put me in that category. But we are not the same. So don't tell me, oh well, Bonquisha get hers for $60, but you are $250. Well, go to her. And when you got the pink eye, don't come back over here talking about X, Y, and Z because go with where your budget is. But then that also, I feel like there's a couple of people whose classes that I've attended, both hair and makeup wise. Camille Friend, who has been nominated, I don't know how many times, for her work with Wakanda and Wakanda Forever and Little Mermaid, all of the hair that she did for all of those projects. Like, I've been to her classes and she is an amazing educator. I'm not getting ready to say that I can do what she do. We're not the same. No. At all. So there's levels, there's definitely levels to this. So I think that's something to consider as well. Like, for those individuals that are novice and beginner and just starting out, don't compare yourself to individuals that are in the category where we are. Compare your individuals to who your peer group is based on your education and your experience, and then work your way up. But as you work, and you still not going to touch me because I didn't already put in more time than you. That's like me saying that I can touch where Camille Friend is. Yeah, maybe one day, but not today. Understand that there is a progression in this. As you decide that you want to really take the beauty industry seriously, you need to make sure that you're educating yourself. You need to make sure that you are seeking out mentorship. But when you're seeking out mentorship, they don't have to give you all of the answers. Like, a mentor is not your sponsor. That doesn't mean that they're going to hook you up with everybody. Like, you have to do more work with having a mentor than you would with anybody else. So they ain't not me. Can't get my job. What you mean? We are not the same.
Well, that answer just covered what advice would you give a novice entrepreneur?
That work in for real.
That work in. And also, I want to add something for mentorship. Please do not send a DM saying, "Will you be my mentor?" Don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't send me a demon. I said demon. Ooh, see, look. Don't send me a DM anyway. I'm just saying.
So D and Julia, what you guys are saying is just take a step further and gather my information, get my email off my website, send me a lovely email that speaks about who you are, what you've done currently, what you're doing currently, and what you would love to do, and how my mentorship would help you to get where you need to be. That's basically what you're saying.
Just put that in a beautiful bow.
Yes, you tied that in a beautiful bow. And I might add, what can you bring to me? Because everyone have talents. If I'm pouring into you, what can you give back to me?
That could be time.
I'm just saying.
Willingness, dedication to listen and learn. It doesn't always have to be difficult, because sometimes when you ask that question, people can get scared from that. Like, nothing. Like, I don't have, as much stuff that you have or what you've done. But what you can say, hey, even if you were just open to learning, is what they can bring to you.
It's important that people understand that mentorship and assisting are different, and all of them are not paid. Like, sometimes you have to invest. There are mentorship programs where you have to pay a fee in order to be mentored by that individual. That's not necessarily a bad thing. that's making sure that that individual that you are asking to be your mentor is not wasting their time. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been in situations where I had mentees that I had to let go because I was like, what you're not about to do is have me looking crazy out here in these streets. Don't be telling me, oh, Jalia's my mentor and you on set falling asleep.
Or coming late.
Story, just saying. You know what I mean? So it's different. It's totally different. Understand the difference between a sponsor, a mentor, and assisting, and see what works for you. You know, like you Waverly mentioned, like all of that is how you should approach. And if somebody says no, that's okay too. That means that person isn't assigned to you in that particular season. Just move on, you know, find somebody else that might be more matched to what it is that you're seeking at that moment in time. So,
Jalia, what's the most common thing that you encounter as a beauty professional besides the white powdery substance?
The most common thing, I guess, them having somebody in their family that does what I do.
That's it.
She said a word there.
Where's the collection plate? Where's the collection plate?
If cousin Joanne is a hairstylist, why is she not doing your hair? Don't compare me to what cousin Joanne did to your hair last weekend. Oh, but she has a full-time job too. Okay, we're not the same. At once I did have a full-time job, you know, but that's not where I am anymore. So again, we are not the same. I think that's one of the big things. And then also the product knowledge. They feel like they have so much product knowledge because of all of the things that they're inundated with through social media. Oh, have you heard about that new product from House Labs? Like, bruh, I don't have every single product from every single line. Like, do you know how much that stuff costs? Yeah, I get a lot of gratis, but like, I still have to buy what I feel like is going to work best for me and my kid. So I think those two would be they weigh pretty much the same.
Man, that so-and-so does makeup. My friend, she gonna do my hair. And when we get those pictures back, if I can just cut off that hair because the hair is flat and stringy, because your friend did you an unfriendly job, which I know could have looked so much better. Or if I could just cover up your face because your friend or your family member that did your makeup, done did your makeup.
I'm sorry.
But your hair is like bomb, like really, really cute. But your face got streaks because you start crying and your friend didn't know how to do airbrush makeup because she told you that traditional was so much better on your wedding day and now your face is on your dress. Okay. Girl, you cut to the white meat on that one. You've had 20 years of HR experience, which have prepared you for where you are now. Your processes are immaculate. And that's because of that 20 years have prepped you for where you are now. You did a lot of managing talent. You had a lot of people that were brown and black people, and there were no one to service them. We spoke with Tiffany Mercer Robbins, who is head of Radiant Hue, which is BIPOC marketing agency. She said something, and each, like Waverly said, it's a thread we've been seeing in our podcast episodes with our guests. She said, and I wrote it down, we have to create the 3 C's, which are cultural competent, culturally relevant, and then culturally forward by educating and advocating for the BIPOC population. In those times, and even now, we're seeing more Black and brown people in our industry recognized, but not enough. I think you should have won Educator of the Year.
I got a lot of those text messages after that, but that's okay.
How do you feel our industry recognizing the Black and brown people have evolved from when you first entered the industry to now?
As far as evolution, I guess I would have to say one thing I noticed when I decided to really take the leap full time into beauty was that I would initially just get hired to do Black and brown people. And that would frustrate me because why is it that I only have to service one community of people which lets me know that you are cutting my rate. I know that's a separate subject, but you're giving me a different rate because I'm only working with one group of people, and whoever the lead is or the other individuals, they get to service mostly all of the Caucasian people. So I would see a lot of that. One thing that I decided to do was make sure that my portfolio showcased diverse skin tones as well as diverse hair textures, so that anybody that looked at my portfolio could see themselves somewhere within the mix. And of course, Caucasians loved that. But then I had Black folks that hated it and told me that they didn't like it. They were like, you don't work on Black folks. I had done all of that work to be told by people in my own community that you don't do Black folks' hair and makeup. And I'm like, wait, what? What are you talking about? You do everybody. So I feel like there's a lot of work that I've done, but there's still a lot of work to be done, because you feel like you're doing things to satisfy and to make yourself more marketable across the board. And then you notice how many steps you get pushed back from your own community, or even after a while, people are like, no, this isn't what I thought. I'll never forget, just last year, I creative directed a campaign, and I have not said this publicly. And majority of the people that I selected it was Latinos, it was Black folks, it was white folks, it was a mixed bag. But most of them, about 75 to 85%, were BIPOC. And when everything was said and done, and when I tell you I produced this project, I was the creative director, I hired everybody. It was it should have been like a $75,000 budget for this thing, but I cut so many corners trying to make these folks' pockets feel easy, and for everything to end up and be told that I didn't use enough white people. My heart hurt so bad. I was like, I did all of that, and that's the response that I get. Like, you know what I mean? So I think there's still a lot of work to be done. I think that when COVID happened and everything that had happened with George Floyd, people got on the diversity train real quick. And I think that they have already got off of the train and turned the train into a whole different moving vehicle at this point. So there's still a lot of work to be done, but that doesn't mean that when I show up in spaces, I have to hit people over the head with, I'm Black and I do more than beauty. I'm also a business professional, because I felt like I had to be extra Black because I'm so bright. And then I'm like, no, you need to see me because I do things other than just beauty. Like, I'm really dope as a business person as well. You know what I mean? So I think there's a lot of work that still needs to be done, but it's about understanding how to move in different spaces. And it all boils back to, being strategic with your speech. Like, when I get invited to these rooms, I let people talk first, and then I start adding if I feel like I need to add. If I don't feel like I need to add, then I move on and I go to another, conversation that's happening. But being in networking spaces with decision makers, I feel like has really helped me, so much so that now over the last year and a half, I've had people say to me, I see you everywhere. How in the world do I see you everywhere? And I'm like, come on, prove Jesus and put me everywhere, because I didn't know I was everywhere, but I, work that out. And I'm being told that by those decision makers, not just artists, but like VPs and CEO level individuals. I'm like, yes, put me in front of them so that we can have a sit down conversation, and I can just let you talk, and then I can talk, and then we can just figure it out in between. Because if you let folk talk long enough, they'll tell on themselves. So I feel like that we've done work over the years, but for every 5 steps, there's 2 steps back. So I don't think that the work is ever going to stop. And that's just one thing that we have to be prepared for. But I also believe that there is a transition that's happening with just a lot of the things that we're seeing in the entertainment industry as a whole. A lot of people are being replaced because they've been doing it very wrong and keeping a whole lot of secrets and doing a whole lot of shysty stuff. and God is elevating his people. So that means all of us that are beauty and business minded and entertainment minded, like we getting ready to be in these spots, and we're gonna be like, they gonna be like, oh my gosh, pick this up with prayer before we get started. Yeah, it's getting ready to switch all the way up. So you just need to be ready and be in position. What you about to say?
It's like, I have so much, Julia. I have so much, but I'm holding back. But yes, I have heard that. I even have a scripture to back it up, but I have to go find it. But oh my God, all I can say is just that portion alone, just in the end of God, God replacing. He's putting us there. Like the ones who are for him and glorifying him, he's building us up. He's gonna
The
place us
first shall
there.
be last.
And I've heard that so many times within this past, not even just a few months, to be in position,
Be in
to be
position,
ready.
baby. Oh, I got
Mm.
goosebumps.
When she said it, my
Yes.
hair is raised. Like I was like, ooh, like
Stay on ready. When somebody asks me for something as far as my business, I already have it saved in my Dropbox. I don't have to go home and create nothing. Every season, I take the time to update all of those things so that it's ready. If the next multimillionaire decides to reach out to me today and ask me for a EPK, all I have to do is attach and send. Sir, you will have that within 15 minutes. Stop playing with me. That's how ready we need to be.
And I think that's another piece of advice for novice entrepreneurs. Stay ready, because if you stay ready, you never have to get ready. Stay ready. Take the time. In the slow months, take the time to tweak and prepare your stuff so that when you do get a call, you can submit it. You don't have to go and chat GPT something and put it together hastily and then miss something and then send it off and then realize, oh, dang, I should have put that in there too. Stay ready, Jalia. Girl.
just make you silent.
So, Jalia, you got 3 kids, and one we just said he's traveling. I know that you have your daughter who's a model. She's gorgeous. Gorgeous. So when Jalia was saying she was all up in that thing for Naha, child, seriously all up in that thing. Her daughter, the Vanna White, giving out the awards. I was like, is that Jalia's daughter? That kind of looked like her. I was like, and I said, yeah, that's her.
They gave her a name. They call her Miss Naha. So she's been doing that for the last 3 years.
Seriously?
Yeah. Yep. And she's like, they better not find a replacement. So she lets them know, nope, I will be there. You are not getting anybody else to take my spot. Yeah. So they asked her one time and she's been locked in ever since.
Wow.
So like, it's interesting because I'm sure if I went back on the previous years and looked at her, you can see her getting taller. And I mean, because she's 6'1". So you can see her just transitioning into this, butterfly. So I'm interested to see what next year will be, because that'll probably be her last year, because she'll be concluding her junior year, going into her senior year. So she got plans.
So let me ask you this. For her mom to be who her mom is, and she models, and I know that she's of a deeper skin tone than what you are. What does that look like for her?
She has gotten spoiled off of her mother being her hair and her makeup artist. My oldest son is a wardrobe stylist, so he's been on set with me as well. My middle son, he's like, nah, y'all go ahead. Just take me with them. But I think for me, being a parent whose kids kind of saw all of this happening as they were growing up, in 2022, when I won Naha, it was like, okay, now we see why mom has been working so hard. Now it makes sense. They were able to come up on the stage with me when I won my award. But with my daughter as a model, she has learned how to use her own voice, which I love to see, because she'll tell me beforehand, like, don't say nothing. Because she's still underage. She's under 18. She's only 16. So she'll be like, don't say nothing unless they say something to you. Don't be coming on my jobs being all vocal because everybody know that you do hair and makeup. So I'm like, okay. So I'll never forget, there was one job that she was on, and they wanted somebody else to do her hair and her makeup. They had hired somebody. And I tried not to hover. I stepped out of the room. And when she came out, she was sucking her teeth and rolling her eyes so hard. And I was like, what's wrong? And she was like, we'll talk about it later. And I was like, no, we're going to talk about it right now. Because do I need to go in there? Like, would I don't like how you doing this right now. She was like, no, it's fine, Mom. It's fine. But it wasn't fine. She actually told me that the woman was huffing and puffing, trying to brush her hair back, like audibly frustrated that she couldn't get her hair to do what she wanted it to do. And I was like, okay, so that's not what we're getting ready to do ever.
Right.
And I remember having a call with her agent, and I was like, if they say that they have hair and makeup, can you make sure that they have hair and makeup that knows how to do her hair and her makeup? I said, her hair is not unmanageable. Stop making it like the fact that that woman was making all that noise over the top of her head. Do you know how long it has taken me for her to be comfortable in her own skin, her skin complexion, her curly hair? Like, bruh, you getting ready to mess up all of this work with this huffing and puffing, and then I'm gonna turn into Alize Jenkins and have to go in there and deal with you. So I'm like, I had to have a whole conversation with her agent to let them know, like, this can never happen again. And yeah, they let it be known. So I do as much prep, but she's now more vocal. She speaks up for herself. She'll let them know, do you need me to help you? Like, but it's interesting. It is interesting because she really did suffer for a while, because I had her in schools that were predominantly white, and a lot of times they were like, you don't get to wear your hair straight. And she was like, yes, I do. Like she just didn't understand that. So it's a process. Dude, having girls is different. and she's my only girl. But with her being in the industry now, she knows that she can speak up for herself.
That's so important, because I think of two things when you talk about someone like huffing and puffing. One, unprofessionalism, and two, education. Education on how to deal with different hair types, because you're not going to get in every chair European hair. So you need to know how to deal with different hair types. And just bringing it all the way back to, how you were kind of ostracized in our community for doing all ethnicities. Well, Waverly and I too get booked because we showcase a plethora of ethnicities. It's really funny to me when people contact me and said, I have women of color in my bridal party. And so I just want to make sure that you're able to do that job. And I'm like, bruh, I'm Black. You think I don't? I would be thinking that you would be asking me the opposite. But yeah, so it's just with the climate that we're in right now, especially when it comes to hair and makeup and dealing with multicultural brides, multicultural clients, it's very important to have that education to know how to do all of those hair types, skin types, and such. So that was prolific. That was prolific for me. How do you create a work-life balance?
I really developed my true work-life balance when COVID happened, because I would get offset, and I get migraines, and I would get offset and I would be so wiped out. I mean, head throbbing, sensitive to light. There was nothing left in the tank afterwards. And during that time, my daughter was a lot younger and my middle son, he was still in school. So like they want some mommy time at some point, not saying that they was babies, but like I'm very interactive with my kids. I have always been like that. I want them to be in all of the spaces that I'm in because I want them to feel comfortable in being able to do so. So during COVID is when that happened for me. And it also showed me who was really for me and who wasn't. During COVID, the wheat was sifted for sure. And that's okay. That is okay. So I don't respond to text messages and emails after a certain time. If I say I'm off, I'm off. Because a lot of times I have to be on for 7 to 14 days in a row. So when I'm off, I need to be off for real, like not doing anything. But I think COVID really helped me do that. So when I take that balancing time, I'm either watching a show or, doing something on a canvas or writing or cooking. Like those are the things that, that I enjoy doing. Me and my daughter will go get pedicures. Like I make sure now to do that without a doubt. Whereas before I was just in constant grind mode that I was never taking any time to myself, and it was physically making me sick. So it's important to do for sure.
Again, that was something that Jocelyn, our mental health professional, was talking about, scheduling intentional self-care times. I struggle with that. However, my self-care I found is through painting, actually. I feel the most relaxed by doing home improvement projects and painting. That's how I relax. I redid my husband's whole office and he was like, "You're supposed to be resting." Well, that is my like relaxing time. Now, once I finish, don't ask me to do nothing else. But I'm just saying. So, Jalia, thank you so much for taking the time out to speak to us today. Please tell the peoples with the S how they can get in touch with you, how they can follow you.
So you can follow me one of two ways. You can go to my website. That's 3jproductions.com. 3J Productions. That's my main business umbrella that does that is the creative conglomerate, and everything on social media is under that same name 3J Productions. So it's the number 3JAY Productions, completely spelled out with the S on the end. If you want to see more from me on the side of faith and beauty and content and behind the scenes, that would be jaliapettis.com. Or you can find me on socials under Jalia DP, JALIADP. So I'm on the TikTok. I'm trying to get into this TikTok, y'all. I'm having a hard time. I try to do different stuff on the TikTok, but it is what it is. So Facebook and Instagram and Threads is popping, and LinkedIn, all of those things. I'm on both 3J as well as Jalia. So, yep.
Thank you so much, Jalia.
Thank you both for your time. You have an amazing afternoon, and it was a pleasure to be here and be able to share with you. I pray that you all have continued success with this endeavor. I'm sure we will be seeing this on a national scale very, very soon. So we just gonna go ahead and speak that into fruition so we can have like the studio space set up and pop-up events in different cities and stuff. Just be prepared, be ready for it, because it's coming.
I have goosebumps. We receive it, honey. We receive it all.
to make a comeback, see them all on the commercials and everything. But like, we're just not the same. We're not the same. My skill set is different. My education is different. The experience that I have put into this is different. Don't lump me with that group, because that's not where I'm at. It would be different if I was novice and I was just starting out. Then you could put me in that category. But we are not the same. So don't tell me, oh, well, Bonquisha get hers for $60, but you are $250. Well, go to her. And when you got the pink eye, don't come back over here talking about X, Y, and Z, because go with where your budget is. But then that also, I feel like there's a couple of people whose classes that I've attended, both hair and makeup wise, like Camille Friend, who has been nominated, I don't know how many times, for her work with Wakanda and Wakanda Forever and Little Mermaid, all of the hair that she did for all of those projects. Like, I've been to her classes and she is an amazing educator. I'm not getting ready to say that I can do what she do. We're not the same at all. So there's levels. There's definitely levels to this. So I think that's something to consider as well. Like, for those individuals that are novice and beginner and just starting out, don't compare yourself to individuals that are in the category where we are. Compare your individuals to who your peer group is based on your education and your experience, and then work your way up. But as you work, and you still not going to touch me, because I didn't already put in more time than you. That's like me saying that I can touch where Camille Friend is. Yeah, maybe one day, but not today. So it understand that there is a progression in this. As you decide that you want to really take the beauty industry seriously, you need to make sure that you're educating yourself. You need to make sure that you are seeking out mentorship. But when you're seeking out mentorship, they don't have to give you all of the answers. Like, a mentor is not your sponsor. That doesn't mean that they're going to hook you up with everybody. Like, you have to do more work with having a mentor than you would with anybody else. So they not me. Can't get my job. What you mean? We are not the same.
Well, that answer just covered what advice would you give a novice entrepreneur?
That work in, for real.
That work in. And also, I want to add something for mentorship.